my niece, Julie's daughter, is getting married Saturday. So, yeah, it's very exciting, but Jack has offered to make a charcuterie and the munchie tray, like the table, for between the wedding and the reception. And then he's like, Mom, I work every day, I don't work until Saturday. So I was fighting the crowds in the rain in Traverse City, trying to get everything for a charcuterie tray and fruit and vegetables, and I'm like, it's gonna be all good. We just gotta get there. We'll get there.
Do you want this system turned on?
I have to leave in the morning, I have to be out.
I don't know. Do we can see if we need it. You think?
Sounds great.
Is that all right?
It is 7:30. I have not heard from Michael, but he won't be here, so let's go ahead and start, and hopefully he'll show up. Okay, 7:30. Let's call the meeting to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Do I have anything, additions or corrections for the agenda? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
I would,
Go ahead.
I would like to bring up the issue of 5.1121 A and B in our ordinance, which may also be valuable if we do anything for data centers.
Oh, okay, so under old business, is there something specific about the zoning ordinance modification? We can,
Yes. I want to specify the scale that should be used and octave band analysis.
what is, you said 5.1?
Now, 5.1121 A and B.
Okay. All right, can I do that in my zoning ordinance here so I can, get that up?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Thank you, Kurt.
Second.
Okay. Kurt and Tricia, do we have any discussion about any of that? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. We're gonna come to the section about public participation. Anyone? If not, we have the minutes from May 27th, meeting. Do we have any, corrections, suggestions, changes that need to happen?
I move to approve the minutes.
All right, motion by Gerald, second by Tricia to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Under old business, we have the potential zoning ordinance modifications that we started to at least list and think about, and we had them on the meeting for last month, and then we said let's table those. So they are tabled until we take them up again, but I just wanted to make sure we have them on there. And if I don't know, do we want to talk about those, or where do we want to go with that?
We table it until we go through them.
Well, and I think they were tabled last meeting because we had, again, you tabled a motion because there was something more pertinent, and I think we were trying to get through the master planning and all that. Yes, and so we tabled that. I'm not saying it's going away, but is that something we want to address at tonight's meeting, or is that going to remain as old business until we review that?
Well, I'd like to get this out just at least for the minutes. I've been looking into, especially as I go through some of the things for data center noise and things like that. I was looking into the whole science of noise measurement. And, you know, we specify in our zoning ordinance that we use an A scale for noise measurement. That does not at all match human hearing.
I have heard the data centers, it's a very low frequency,
Yes.
so a lot of times it doesn't.
It's 31.5 and 63 hertz. And you have to, when you're measuring noise for human hearing, you have to use a C scale, not the A scale. And especially, you need octave band analysis. So
Say
that
that, you need what kind?
octave, OCTAVE band analysis,
Okay,
so that no band exceeds 20 decibels over the background dBA measurement when you're measuring by BBC.
okay, so we have a lot to, understand and discuss with that. Okay. I'm just taking a few notes here so I understand what you're saying. And I will say, I think the zoning ordinance modifications we talked about, and is it one we wanna do sort of at the same time as we're updating our master plan, or is that something we feel like, do we need to update the master plan and then make sure that these modifications, are appropriate? And I guess I just want feedback about all that.
I would prefer modifying the ordinance after the master plan so that we show that we're
Yeah,
using due diligence.
that makes sense to me too. I mean, if we got a list of possible changes, then we wanna see the change in the master plan first, and then go through all that whole list and see how it fits.
They can't be done together, what would?
They can be done simultaneous, we can amend the zoning ordinance anytime. So we could initiate and go through all that. And so that was sort of what we started talking about last month was, do we wait and kind of do it all together, all one swell swoop, or do we fell swoop? Or do we, address some of these things kind of in parallel to updating the master plan? And then, once we cover the master plan, we would have to then look at the zoning ordinance again to see if there were other changes that needed to happen. And then we would need to go through the process again.
It seems like some of the issues are tightly related to the master plan, so it seems like some of it makes sense to do at the same time while it's fresh, but maybe. You were talking about the housing and the ADUs and.
Well, and I feel like that, the housing is certainly something I think that probably needs to, I feel like we need to go through the master plan and get all the community input and do all that before we can really have good information in my mind as to how we need to update our ordinance to reflect that. But there are some, I think the data centers is definitely one I would like to have be a topic as we're doing the master planning and get community input. So I feel like anything that's a topic that we really want community input on, I'd like to kind of at least go through that portion of our master planning process to get feedback and understand what the residents are thinking.
So then we could do the amendment at that time, or you'd still wanna complete the entire?
We could, again, you can amend the ordinance anytime.
Mhm.
So that is, we could, once we get a feedback, we're like, okay, let's at least tackle that. It's just, it goes all through the process and there is, so depending on timeline,
I guess thinking about it, if it's gonna be a year before this whole process is done, if there's changes we need to make, we don't wanna wait a year,
but I do think, I do, so some of the topics we had were camping. I think I'd like to hear some feedback about that and what people think about, not necessarily campgrounds, but using your property just with an RV, which is not allowed at this time. The accessory dwelling units, I think that's under the topic of housing that I'd like to get. Data centers and
I'd like
what you're
community input
addressing.
on that.
I think that's important. The short-term rentals, I think that goes along with the housing component. The one that's really the hot topic is the recycling drop-off site. And, I do think some community feedback would be good on that. I don't know, I did hear they were looking at a different site in Benzonia Township. And I did try to follow up with Gary Sauer to find out if that was coming to fruition, so we didn't feel like we, had to modify the ordinance and then they were going somewhere else anyway. And his response this evening was not sure yet. So,
So nothing definite then.
nothing definitive, no. But obviously they're
Mhm.
pursuing another location. So. Anyway, I would like for at least to get some feedback on all those topics.
I agree that feedback is good. I guess that's where I was thinking that we were maybe really making the suggestions of our ordinance changes along with it, I guess. Maybe I just don't have a clear understanding of how it all works yet.
Yeah.
Not that we are maybe, I don't think we were having a meeting on recycling and then amending and then having a meeting. I didn't think we were maybe,
Right.
maybe, I guess it would be kind of, but.
I don't know why you couldn't do that.
The only thing is because the master plan isn't finalized until after it's out for public review and it's sent to all the different municipalities and everybody, and then we will have a public hearing to have one more, okay, this is what we said in the master plan, is that really what we want in the master plan? So it's not really finalized until the process is done. But I think, there will be some, I think there'll be some topics that you'll get a pretty good sense of what we want right away. But
We see how it goes. If we
okay,
if we see something that we have strong opinions on, we could
do something.
take case by case, I guess.
Okay.
Could you repeat what you just talked? Oh, I can't hear. We're having a hard time hearing, Trish. I'm sorry. Bend the thing down.
Oh, it's not even on, that's probably the problem.
Oh, okay.
My suggestion was, as we're going through the process, maybe not definitively saying, no, we're not gonna change it to the end, or yes, we're gonna do it along the way, maybe see if we have strong opinions on a particular topic, maybe it needs to be addressed at that point, but we don't know that till we get there, I guess.
So Trish, are you suggesting that we finalize, or we do the master plan first before the ordinance?
I'm saying that maybe not.
Well,
I think you're suggesting that if we have a community meeting and that it's really strongly vocalized about whatever particular topic, it may be clear that we could start an amendment process before the entire master plan is completed. Though I do agree with you, Gerald, it's, sort of due diligence would be it's not really final until it's final, but, so she suggested we just sort of see what the community feedback is throughout the master planning process and kind of make that call as we go. Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm just missing a definite yes or a definite no right now.
Yeah, I could agree with that. We can't put everything on hold for a year.
Right.
So if something hot comes up, we gotta deal with it.
Okay. Yeah, I just, it's a process, so. All right, are we good with that? And so we'll just keep them on old business and we'll, okay? And I will send you a copy of the ordinance and you can give us more information on what you're thinking about.
okay.
Can I ask just a quick question? The stuff that Gerald wanted to address, the 5.11, where is that and where did it land? Is that being added to your list of amendment stuff?
It It is in under the topic of data centers, but it is about the noise, and so that will be added to our list of zoning ordinance amendments, potential zoning ordinance amendments. Because it's related to data centers, but it's also, if it's not a realistic, if we're using a scale and we should be using a C scale for everything, then that makes sense to modify, so, with or without a data center.
I would think there'd be really good examples out there of communities that have already zoned for data centers, so we probably don't need to write the book on that.
No.
So the data centers at the low frequencies show almost 100 decibels a mile away. That is extreme.
Yes. But hopefully there's some examples of.
Yeah, and I did see Citizens Research of Michigan, Citizens Research Council of Michigan came out with, I think, a 93-page report. They just came out with something. I haven't looked at it, but I did see something in the news that they came out with it, and that's a document that kind of talks about not necessarily pro or con, but here's all the information you need to make a decision. So that, you know, I can see if I can find that document and share it out. So, but yeah, hot topic. All right, well, let's move to new business. The township board did approve hiring a new zoning administrator, Mike Franzak. And they're still working on finalizing contract, and I think you're gonna approve the contract at your July meeting, is my understanding from Doty. So, hopefully he will begin after that and, can be a part of the master planning process and, all the zoning administration stuff and the potential amendments that we're talking about. I think his input would be appreciated. So, I think he plans at this point, if everything goes well, he will plan to attend the July meeting and meet everybody, and at least that's the thought. Otherwise, I do think we could do a Zoom or some sort of a situation where he could be involved in the meeting, even if remotely.
So what's his background?
He has a degree in planning from MSU, and he is currently the planning director for the city of Muskegon, and oversees that department. He also is the zoning administrator for Muskegon Heights, as well as a rural township in Newaygo County. I think it's Ashton Township. So he has sort of both city experience as well as the rural. And he also, he has a consulting company that he does, help planning commissions and other folks with, updating their zoning ordinance or helping write their master plans or other things that people, he'll submit an RFP. So he did say he's hoping, he has property in Irons, family property, and comes up here quite frequently. And he said he's hoping to get closer to retirement and maybe do, multiple township zoning administrator positions and retire and be up here permanently.
Now, could you repeat where he is currently the admin of?
The city of Muskegon.
Heights?
He's the city of Muskegon planning director.
Yeah.
And I can send information, and he is the zoning administrator for Muskegon Heights. And I believe it's Ashton Township in the county of Newaygo, though I'm not 100% sure on the name of the township.
Just wanted to get that out.
Okay. Anyway, hopefully we'll meet him next meeting. The master plan update. So, based on what we did the last time and going through the MSU checklist of what we needed to do and updating our master plan, I did put together sort of an estimated schedule, tasks, steps that need to happen in order to accomplish this. So, Because at the township board meeting, the township board decided, they agreed and approved, yes, let's amend and update the master plan. So, I sent out that schedule, and I hope everybody's had a little minute to look at it. It's not set in stone, but just sort of, I thought a good place to start. Here we are, June 17th, and it's gonna take some time to go through all the data and get updated all. I think that's the biggest probably part of the update that needs to happen in every cornerstone is, of course, all the census data can be updated. So going through all that, and then also as part of the process, I will send out a letter of intent to plan, and I did send an example of what I sent out the last time. And then also on the back of that is the list of everybody that it was sent to. So I will send out the similar letter unless somebody has some different information they want to include in that letter. That's what I did the last time, and that's what I will do again. Probably won't go out till Monday or beginning of next week, let's say. Gotta get through the wedding. So, does anybody have any, I know it is a year-long schedule. I mean, we have June through August to kind of gather all the data, get information get the updated Benzie County Recreation Plan, get the infrastructure updates, understand any land use updates. So then in August, we can review all that data and begin reviewing the cornerstones with the updated demographic and actual numbers. And then I thought September through and October, we can hold different community meetings and input sessions on the different topics. So my suggestion was we could have cornerstone specific town hall meetings, so maybe the town hall's about housing. We could have an industry or these are not one or the other. Industry specific town hall meetings if we wanted to have the farming community, the business community, the sort of the different industrial sectors or different demographics that we wanted to. And then I think we could do one, depending on how we feel, a final public forum with each cornerstone represented, and people can provide input based on that. So those are just some suggestions. I just put this together, so if you have some other thoughts, I'm open to anything. So then November, we can review all that public input, finalize our cornerstones, and put together the action steps, and then actually from that, we would draft the master plan, the updated master plan. We don't usually meet in December, so I did not include a December meeting. I'm not saying we couldn't, but then we would start in January, review the draft, and approve it, modify it, do what we need to do. February, we would submit it to the Droitfield Township Board for their approval, because they ultimately need to approve it. Then it would come back, at the March, we would finalize it in February, the board would receive it in March, and they will send it back to us with comments, approval, amendments, ideas. We'll send it out to all the contiguous townships and everything we need to do for their 63-day review. So then, April, we'll incorporate any of those comments, finalize the document, send the public hearing notice to the Record Patriot, have the public hearing in May, and then June meeting, the township board would have the final master plan for their approval. So, I know it's a long time,
Can I
but
ask a question? Is there any reason you couldn't maybe do more than one meeting a month? I mean, that's a year to do just the upgrades on a master plan that didn't need much. That really puts all those amendments way out there if you do it had more than one meeting a month when you were, well, that was not the last time. There were no changes other than.
No, we amended it, but we amended it and it was finalized in 21. We did a similar schedule. I mean, in fact, I took that schedule and kind of went from that. I'm not saying maybe we could have a meeting every week, but again, we all have, you know, our lives and what we're doing, and so we can modify as we see fit, but that's just sort of a draft schedule I put out there for our thoughts and discussion.
I'd say if we start falling behind, we can always add more meetings. If it's gonna drag out, we can always add more meetings later on.
Well, this September and October, probably there's gonna be more than one.
Yeah, those.
Yeah, those will be
September,
multiple
October,
meetings, and you know, taking all the comments and updating it, and you know, every time you need to, it does require some, you know, time. It's not like you can have the meeting and return that around to everybody, but, so, yeah. Doing it in-house probably takes a little longer than a consultant that does this full-time, and it's their job, you know, for what we're doing in the evenings and weekends. Takes time. So,
Well, who's gonna put together all this information?
so that's what we do. I do a column for the responsible party. Last time I did. I was gonna see if we could get some data. We utilized Beckett and Rader, who are the consultants that helped us on the initial master plan, and they did provide some updated data for our 21 update. So I don't know if that's still available or not. I mean, we could, if we wanted to, you know, contract out and ask if somebody would get data. I didn't get any directive from the township board, or, you know, we would have to approve if we were gonna pay money for data mining, but
Do we have a budget for that?
no.
No.
Well, we have a budget, it's zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our new zoning administrator may have sources.
And he may, yes,
Other
yeah,
information.
which would be great if he has access to Esri or any other databases. That would be super, because, you know, all I can do is access the publicly available, you know, and they haven't done the survey since 2020, but at least hopefully we'll have that updated data. When we did it in 2020, we were going off the old survey, so at least it should be better data than the last time, for sure. So anyway, I'm willing to dig in and kind of go back to my notes of what I did before. If somebody wants to help or do something, let me know.
I will help you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, maybe I'll see what we can do and maybe divide and conquer a little bit. Sound good? Otherwise, yeah, I don't think it's a crazy schedule. I think it's realistic, but we can see how it goes. And we can modify as we need to or want to. If that sounds good
Yes.
for general consensus?
Mhm.
Okay, and I will send out this letter of intent to plan, next week. Okay, with that, I don't have any correspondence unless anybody else does. Okay, so we're to the public participation for non-agenda items. Anything?
No, I was just wondering if I could get a copy of the schedule, because I was trying to write it and I really did not.
Yep, I have
Keep
one here.
Thank you.
Yep. Anything else? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you, Gerald. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, meeting adjourned, 7:58. That's a little easier. You want to take one to Victor or Susan wants one?
You're not going to the meeting, Sean? That's
No,
what I-
well, we'll see, I'm not sure if we will have, but it's just gonna take, it takes a little time to compile all the So if we have all the data, we're ready to roll and we got some data,
Did you
then
guys want the schedule?
Okay.
There, sure, thank you.
okay.
I was just reading this pretty mean, so I didn't go into one step, but
Well, so we don't have anything above what the, we don't have anything additional to the conditions. So whatever modifications they make, we don't have anything over that. Yeah.